Hi everyone. Welcome back to Inspire Beautiful. Confidence is often misunderstood. We think it's loud. We think it's natural. We think some people are simply born with it. But that's not how real confidence is formed. Real confidence is built the day you do something while terrified, and you survive it. For me, and maybe for you, confidence didn't come from applause. It came from refusing to disappear. Some of us were not raised to be expressive. We were taught children should be quiet, don't speak unless spoken to, don't challenge authority, and don't be too much. And over time, the body adapts. You become careful, measured, and reserved. Sometimes that gets labeled as shyness, but often it's protection. If speaking once led to correction, dismissal, or punishment, your nervous system learned something. Visibility is unsafe. So you shrink. You lead from the back. You become observant instead of outspoken. And you survive that way. But surviving quietly and living confidently are not the same. When you finally try to speak up, maybe in your 20s, maybe later, it can feel almost physical. Your heart races, your throat tightens, and your hands shake. You might think, I'm just bad at this. I'm not cut out for leadership. Or I'm not confident. But that discomfort isn't proof that you are incapable. It's proof that you're doing something your younger self was never allowed to do. You're expanding beyond an old rule. An expansion often feels uncomfortable before it feels empowering. There is usually one moment, one situation where you had to speak, not because you felt brave, but because staying silent would have cost you more. Maybe you advocated for yourself. Maybe you set a boundary. Maybe you corrected something unfair. You were terrified. And then something surprising happened. You survived. Maybe it even worked. That moment changes everything. Because confidence doesn't come from praise. It comes from evidence. Evidence that I can feel fear and still function. I can speak and not collapse. I can show up and not disappear. That is the foundation of quiet confidence. Confidence is not bragging. It is not broadcasting your accomplishments. And it is not needing to prove anything. In fact, many quietly confident people don't boast at all. They don't need to. They know what they've built, they know what they've endured, and they know who they are. When you were not celebrated growing up, when your achievements were overlooked, and when your effort wasn't mirrored, you may have learned to validate yourself privately. That is not weakness. That is internal stability. But sometimes it also means you never learn to let yourself be seen. This series will gently work on that. Not so you become loud, but so you become fully present. Here is a definition you can carry forward. Confidence is self-trust built through repeated courage. Not once, repeatedly. Every time you speak while nervous, try again after failure, say no without over-explaining, stay steady in disagreement, and show up without shrinking. You deposit evidence into your identity. And eventually, you no longer need to convince yourself. You simply know. If you are still uncomfortable speaking up, if your heart still races, if you still second guess yourself, that doesn't mean you lack confidence. It may mean you're still practicing visibility. And practice is allowed. You are not confident because someone affirmed you. You are confident because you chose not to disappear. That is a different foundation, and it's solid. Inspire beautiful. Take care, everyone. Thanks for listening.